Hey warrior, you and I both know the truth. Most mornings, you wake up reacting instead of leading. You check your phone before you check your purpose. You let random distractions walk into your mind before you even stand up. You open your eyes, but you don't open your discipline. That is how most men start their day. On their back foot, chasing clarity instead of creating it. Most people slide into the morning with no command, no focus, and no inner authority. They wait for motivation to show up like a miracle. They wake up hoping the day will be gentle to them, instead of waking up prepared to dominate it. They drift, they delay, they negotiate with their weakness. But the 1% start differently. They don't start their day in confusion, they start it in control. They don't wait to feel awake, they wake up with purpose. They don't let the world decide their tempo, they set their own. The 1% understand that the way you rise determines the way you fight, think, and move through every hour that follows. The real problem is not that your mornings are unproductive. The real problem is that your mornings are not yours. You've been waking up like a passenger in your own life instead of the commander of your own mind. That ends today. This video is going to shift how you wake up, how you think, and how you take control from the very first minute of the day. Because once you own your morning, you own your power. And once you own your power, nothing can push you off your path. Today, you stop waking up like everyone else. Today, you rise like a warrior. Marcus Aurelius said, "At dawn, when you rise unwillingly, let this thought be present. I am rising to do the work of a human being." That statement alone separates the ordinary from the disciplined. Most people fail because they believe mornings should feel comfortable. They think waking up early should feel natural, smooth, and easy. They assume discipline will arrive in a soft, motivating whisper. Stoics knew better. They understood that the morning does not exist to make you comfortable. The morning exists to test you. It exposes your relationship with resistance. It reveals whether you are governed by emotion or guided by purpose. Most people lose that test because they treat their feelings as commands. If they feel tired, they obey it. If they feel low energy, they surrender. If they feel unmotivated, they wait. You cannot build a powerful life with a weak morning. You cannot build consistency on top of hesitation. You cannot build clarity on top of distraction. The reason most people never break through is because they try to change their habits without changing their identity. They try to act like disciplined men while thinking like passive ones. This video is about the shift, the identity shift, into someone who rises with intention, clarity, and inner authority. A man who does not wake up when he feels like it, but wakes up because that is who he is. In this video, you will learn the morning secret of the 1%, the mindset and principles that make a man rise with total control. These are not hacks, gimmicks, or trendy routines copied from influencers. These are Stoic foundations, ancient and timeless, designed to give you the power to command your day before the world can interfere. There are 7 principles, and each one builds directly on the next. By the time you reach the 7th, you will understand exactly how to structure your morning like a warrior, not a wanderer. Before we dive in, affirm this to yourself right now. My mornings belong to me. And if you're ready to rise with intention, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, because this channel is for the men who refuse to waste their potential. Principle 1. Wake up before you're ready. Most people wake up only after their comfort allows it. They hit snooze because the bed is warm. They wait for their mind to wake up slowly. They negotiate with their weakness and call it self-care. They tell themselves they need 5 more minutes, but those 5 minutes turn into a character pattern, a habit of delaying the man they are supposed to become. The 1% live differently. They understand a simple truth. If you wait to feel ready, you will wait forever. Stoics acted before comfort arrived. They did what needed to be done, regardless of how they felt. When your alarm rings, that sound is not an invitation. It is a command from your higher self. You rise because the man you intend to become requires immediate action. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly." Waking up early is not about being a morning person. It is about being a disciplined person. Your day begins the moment you choose action over excuses. Those first 10 seconds are where the battle is won. When you get up immediately, you remind yourself that you are the authority. When you delay, you teach your mind that excuses have power over you. To apply this, set your waking time the night before and treat it as non-negotiable. When the alarm rings, get up immediately, stand, and put your feet on the ground before your mind has time to argue. This builds mental sharpness. This builds identity. This builds dominance over hesitation. Close this principle with the identity you are choosing. I rise before I'm ready because I lead, not follow. Comment this affirmation. I rise on command. Principle 2. Command your first thought. Most people wake up and immediately allow random thoughts to control their mood. They start their day remembering problems, regrets, bills, drama, or yesterday's mistakes. Their mind wakes up in chaos, and instead of directing it, they follow it. They allow the first thought of the day to weaken their posture, their energy, and their approach to everything that comes next. But the 1% understand that the first thought after waking up is a declaration of identity. Stoics knew that the mind is trainable, but only when you take charge before emotions take over. When a disciplined man wakes up, he introduces order before the day has a chance to introduce noise. His first thought is not random. It is chosen. It is deliberate. It is aligned with who he has decided to become. Seneca said, "The mind is powerful, and it is in your control." This is not just philosophy, it is a morning discipline. If your first thought is weak, your decisions weaken. If your first thought is scattered, your focus scatters. If your first thought is powerful, your behavior strengthens. You cannot rise with intention if your mind wakes up in disorder. To apply this, choose a morning command statement and repeat it as soon as you wake up. Something like, I decide the energy of my day, or I lead myself before anything else. This simple practice shifts your mind from reactive to intentional. It breaks the pattern of emotional drift and replaces it with mental clarity. Close this principle with the identity you are choosing. My thoughts follow my command. Comment this affirmation. I choose my first thought. Principle 3. Move before you think. Most people wake up and sit still for too long. They lie in bed scrolling. They slump over, half awake, letting their energy drain instead of rise. They wait for motivation to hit them, but motivation does not arrive for those who sit passively. They start the day with stagnation and wonder why their mind feels heavy and unfocused. The 1% know the truth. Motion creates clarity. Stoics believed that the body and the mind work as a single unit. When you move the body, the mind follows. A disciplined man does not wait for thinking to turn into movement. He uses movement to turn into thinking. This is why warriors, athletes, soldiers, and high performers all begin the day with some form of physical activation. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." One of the fastest ways to gain that power is by directing your body immediately after waking. When the body rises, the mind wakes up. When the body engages, the mind sharpens. When the body moves with intention, the mind aligns with discipline instead of laziness. To apply this, do something physically activating in the first 3 minutes of waking. It can be stretching, walking, push-ups, or even deep breathing while standing tall. The purpose is not to exercise, it is to command momentum. You break the fog, you break the hesitation, you break the passive state. Close this principle with the identity you are choosing. My body leads my mind into strength. Comment this affirmation. I move with intention. Principle 4. Eliminate your first distraction. Most people lose their morning within 30 seconds of waking up. They grab their phone, they scroll aimlessly, they check messages that are not urgent, notifications that do not matter, and content that does nothing but steal their attention. They begin the day by giving their focus away to the world, and then wonder why they cannot control their mind later. But the 1% protect their mental environment like a fortress. Stoics knew that the first moments of the day are the most important. They believed that the quality of your attention shapes the quality of your actions. A disciplined man eliminates his first distraction before it eliminates his clarity. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." If the first thing you do is surrender to distraction, you start the day in slavery. If the first thing you do is protect your focus, you start the day in power. This is not about avoiding technology. It is about refusing to let anything external control your internal rhythm. To apply this, create a rule. No phone, no notifications, no social media, and no external stimulation for the first 20 to 30 minutes of your morning. This period is sacred. You use it to establish clarity before the world demands your attention. This single habit alone will elevate your discipline faster than any productivity trick. Close this principle with the identity you are choosing. My attention is my weapon, and I control it. Comment this affirmation: I own my focus. Principle 5. Set one intentional target. Most people start their day thinking about 10 different things they need to do. This creates anxiety, confusion, and scattered focus. They overwhelm themselves before they have even achieved anything. They create mental chaos because they do not give their mind a clear target. The 1% operate with precision. They understand that clarity is more powerful than volume. Stoics believe that a man who knows his aim walks with certainty. A man without a single aim walks in circles. The disciplined do not try to win the whole day in one shot. They focus on the next decisive action that moves them forward. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you seek tranquility, do less, or do what is essential." A single powerful target creates momentum, direction, and progress. It removes hesitation because your mind knows exactly what must happen next. To apply this, choose one intentional target every morning. Not a list of 10 tasks. Not a cluster of goals. One target, one mission. One action that, if completed, moves your life forward meaningfully. This builds consistency, confidence, and clarity. This also trains your brain to deliver results instead of drowning in distractions. Close this principle with the identity you are choosing. I move with purpose, not confusion. Comment this affirmation: I choose my target. Principle 6. Embrace morning discomfort. Most people avoid discomfort the moment they feel it. They wake up tired and assume that feeling means they should slow down or soften their approach. They step into the morning expecting ease, and when they don't get it, they lose momentum. They treat discomfort as a sign to stop instead of a signal to rise. The 1% see discomfort differently. They understand that discomfort is a natural part of rising early, thinking clearly, and acting with discipline. Stoics trained themselves to face what was difficult instead of avoiding it. They built a mindset that could endure pressure without breaking. Seneca said, "The man who has anticipated the coming of troubles takes away their power when they arrive." When you greet discomfort in the morning, you remove its ability to control you. You stop fearing tiredness, laziness, low energy, or slow thoughts because you no longer depend on feeling perfect before acting. To apply this, change your relationship with discomfort. When you wake up tired, say, "Good, this is training." When your mind feels slow, say, "Good, this is where discipline begins." When your mood is low, say, "Good, this is how warriors are built." You stop treating discomfort as an obstacle and start treating it as your sharpening stone. Close this principle with the identity you are choosing. I grow stronger in the presence of discomfort. Comment this affirmation: I embrace the hard. Principle 7. Start with a win. Most people begin the day feeling behind. They think about everything they have not done yet. They feel pressure before they feel progress. Their mind starts with lack instead of strength, and that weakens their drive for the rest of the day. The 1% start differently. They begin with a small, intentional win that signals to the mind, I am in control. Stoics understood that small victories create inner momentum. A single disciplined action creates the psychological foundation for a powerful day. It does not need to be dramatic, it just needs to be decisive. Epictetus said, "Progress is not achieved by luck, but by working on yourself daily." A morning win proves to your mind that you are already progressing. It resets your identity. It builds confidence. It eliminates the feeling of being behind. When you begin the day with a win, every action that follows becomes easier. To apply this, choose one small but meaningful win to perform immediately after waking. It could be making your bed with precision, drinking water, reading a single paragraph of something meaningful, or completing a short moment of mindfulness. The purpose is not the action. The purpose is the message. I start strong. Close this principle with the identity you are choosing. I begin every day with a victory. Comment this affirmation. I start with strength. You now have the 7 principles of the 1% morning mindset. Wake up before you're ready. Command your first thought. Move before you think. Eliminate your first distraction. Set one intentional target, embrace morning discomfort, and start with a win. These are not tricks. These are not hacks. These are the foundations of a disciplined, focused, and unstoppable man. Remember this. Motivation fades, but identity stays. You are not training yourself to have better mornings. You are training yourself to become a man who rises with power, clarity, and purpose. A man who does not wait for life to push him. A man who pushes back. A warrior. Take these principles, apply them, live them. Own your morning, and you will own your mind. Own your mind, and you will own your life. If this video helped you step into your strength, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to Anonymous Achiever, because we are building disciplined men here, and here's the final affirmation. I rise as the man I choose to be.